This is Tony Chimmel, and I'd like to introduce the hosts of the Game Marks podcast, George Feis and Johnny Clash.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast, where each and every week we take a deep dive into the good, the bad, and the awesome of all things video games. I'm the man they call Johnny Clash.
And I am George Feis, and today we are playing Wwe 2K24. Guys, that's crazy. I can't believe enough time has passed for this game is vital to be on the podcast. It is finally time to put a bow on this game as we gear up for 2K25.
That's crazy. And please subscribe and leave a 5-star review for this podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And follow us on all forms of social media at Game Marks Pod. And don't forget, you can get this episode early and ad-free at patreon.com/podexchange, along with the show notes, Discord access, live recordings like this one right now, giveaways, and more from us and our good friend Dylan Postel.
Absolutely. Coming up soon, maybe in the next couple of weeks, we got a Patreon Muppets trivia that we got to get through, John.
I'm scared of that. I'm scared.
I'm not looking forward to it. Dylan keeps asking. I know that he's been busy. You've been busy. We've all got things going on, so that is coming up soon for sure. But let's do a little bit of follow-up from last episode. We played one of the first wrestling arcade games, Apua, not really sure how to pronounce that still. Yeah, it could be just Apu. But how you feeling? We both gave it a future endeavor, not from a gameplay aspect, just from a replayability, not really enough meat on the bone. How are you feeling?
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Just not the fact that it was a bad game. I think it was ahead of its time, like I said in my review, and it overall played pretty good and looked good and felt good. It was just not something that had enough meat to go back and, put some more time into. It's the same thing over and over again. Yeah. And with no real roster. I know there were parodies, but there was just nothing to look forward to in the game. But overall, decent game. I'll keep it in the old Wayback Machine.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable experience. It's fun to say that we got to go back and play one of the earlier wrestling games that were ever released. But we're going from one of the earliest to one of the most recent. Oh man, we got to talk about all things WWE 2K25 before we get into this week's game, which is 2K24.
It's out in 8 days as we're recording this, which is crazy because it snuck up on us. It really did. I have here the showcase match list. I'm not that into it. I thought the Bloodline showcase would be the career of the Bloodline, but it's the whole Bloodline dynasty, and you have the option to relive matches, change them, or create them. So, you start off with Yokozuna and Hulk Hogan. That's kind of like, what? I didn't want that. And then you go to Raw, where Rocky Maivia versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Then you get Nia Jax versus Laya Valkyria for the Queen of the Ring. Then you get Jimmy and Jay versus the New Day. Great matches. Why does that belong in the Bloodline dynasty? I don't know. I guess it's just all about the Bloodline.
It's just to celebrate the. It's more about
even Naomi's included in this.
It's the dynasty, I think is the word that they've been using. It's it's about the Bloodline and the Samoan dynasty.
You get obviously Roman and Cody because you got last year's game, but it's just, this is odd to me.
Roman and Seth, Roman and Cody.
Rosie and Jamal versus Akam and Razor, who are not even employed by the WWE anymore. The AOP.
I think you're getting fantasy matches here.
But
Usually
whose fantasy is that? 2 mid-card tag teams, like, oh wow. And then you got the Islanders, Tama and Haku, against Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Sika and Afa versus the Dudley Boys. Like, what is this crap?
Yeah, it's okay, I see how they listed it out. So it's okay. Yeah. I was trying to follow along as you were reading through this, but they're broken up into 3 different categories. I thought with any match you had the option to relive, change, or create. So it's broken up into 3 different showcases. It's relive history, where you can follow the path of superstars and just relive those matches. There's change history, which is you can change the losses into victories. And then there's the matches that John was just talking about, which is create, which is dream matches across generations. Okay, so now in that context, it makes a little bit more sense. I thought everything was that option, where every match you had the option to change it, edit it. Like you could go into the showcase mode and be like, yeah, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins was great, but what if it was Roman Reigns versus someone else?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still going to probably go through all of them. I'll put them all up on YouTube as I did last year, but this is just not looking too great. The only good part is you're not getting those stupid cutscenes in the middle anymore that ruin every single streaming algorithm there is. You're going to just play the match through now, so that is probably going to be a lot more fun. And yeah, I mean, like No Mercy 2000, Rikishi versus Stone Cold in the No Holds Barred match. Like, like Umaga, John Cena, New Year's Revolution World Championship. That was cool. That was a great match. Should be in there. But I would have liked to see, I guess, the past, 3 to 4 years, maybe even goes past that. I think it goes into the pandemic. The past 5 years, 6 years, documented as like a timeline.
I think that's what a lot of people thought that this was going to be.
Like this is when Roman came back. This is when he won the Universal title. This is when he won that title. This is his whole path of destruction, leading to his downfall, leading to Solo, leading to them at War Games, him losing to Cody. Done.
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought that that's what it was going to be, especially with other members of their family thrown in with other types of matches. But we'll have to see. I wonder what interesting treatments they're going to give this, because I always feel they have some kind of curveball that you may not expect. There's always something that they don't necessarily list out that you only experience once you're in the middle of playing the games. And I feel, as you're going through the showcase mode, so I'm kind of excited to see what that aspect is going to be. But it's definitely a different showcase than what we've seen in the past, that's for sure. But they've kind of done that the last couple of years. There was every John Cena loss. There was the split showcase that they had. This is just like a next version of that.
Yeah, well, the next news here, we got My Rise mode. They're now going to include live events, which are optional matches that you could unlock different superstars, My Faction cards, and original My Rise characters, like Cole Quinn, who's going to be unlockable, and Demon Finn Balor is also an unlockable in that mode. So I guess that's their answer to everyone complaining about My Faction cards and the players unlocked only being available in My Faction. Now you could unlock them a different way in My Rise mode. Also in My Rise mode, you're going to have different endings per... I don't know if they're splitting it up again in a male and female story. I would assume they are. The personality type you choose affects the way your character acts and responds to the world around them, but it affects what stories you have available to you as well, and the endings.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. We saw DDP here at a indie arena in his Trish Stratus also in their current attire, so that's cool. I guess they're going to be like indie events.
Which
a lot of stuff here.
They've kind of had stuff like that.
Yeah, it shows them at the merch table. Grapple Legends Arena. There's a screenshot here of Rhea Ripley from My Rise mode holding 3 championships, all the women's titles. That's kind of cool. I guess that is something to do with the storyline.
You know a little bit about DLC so far. So there's the pre-order DLC, which is the Wyatt 6. Then there's the pre-order or the Dead Man Edition pack, which you get Brother Love, Undertaker 1990, and the Undertaker Elite figure, which I don't know. Have you ever played matches with the figure styles?
Not even once.
It's a cool feature to see like live action figures in the video game. I just wonder if there's, I don't know. I guess there's a market for everything. I just would be curious if like, is it like, are enough people using these that it's worth it? It's a cool looking.
I guess they are.
It's a cool looking visual for sure. Yeah,
put a collectible
and it's
in
an
a
awesome like shake up to the graphic style for sure. Like the action figures look exactly like their action figures.
I think it's awesome that everyone complained about Jey Uso being exactly the same as last year, and they went in and they put a brand new entrance in for him, coming down from the crowd. The crowd's yeeting with him, and it looks really cool. I mean, the crowd is a little, well, it's the crowd. They're all kind of stiff and bending weird, but you get what you get. I think it was a cool addition, and it shows they're listening, so that's always a good thing. There's a 19-minute video out with some My Rise footage, so if you want to check that out, I think that is on the, let's see, where is this?
While John looks that up, there's also, for the Bloodline Edition pack, you get the Jey Uso Elite, the Roman Reigns Elite, and the Rock Nation of Domination.
Ooh. It's on the IGN YouTube account, so you can check that out there. We also got a new menu screen, which is going back to, let's see, which one was that? 2K19?
Yeah,
let's see.
Which is the one with AJ? I think it's like the style of the one with AJ.
That's 19. Yeah, it's going back to like the 19 menu.
Yeah.
The not the main menu. Is it? No, because 19 had that cool like black and white one. So I think it might have been 18. I don't know. It's one of those. If you're out there and you know what I'm talking about, hit me up. But it looks pretty cool. It's cleaner, nice image of a wrestler, and then the box is under it. What more do you want? I thought the past few years were cool also, but it was time for a change after using it 3 years in a row. And I am looking forward to this game. I have my pre-order set for Steam this time. I don't need the island. I'm going to get FOMO for sure, I know. And if it ever goes on Xbox Game Pass, I'll probably end up downloading it on both. So,
well, you can be sure to know, you can be sure that John and I will absolutely be putting the time in to play through this game thoroughly, as we've done for the last couple of years with all of these games. But did we want to talk? I mean, we touched on it briefly last time. The graphics, the textures, the models for all the characters are just when you think that it can't get better, they improve the lighting, the textures, the physics of clothing and of hair, and everything just looks cleaner in a way that you didn't think that could even be possible. This looks really, really good.
I'm afraid that we're going to get the PC version or the Xbox version, and it's not going to be as nice as the Series X and the PS5 version.
It's possible.
It's going to be a minor difference, but these videos that they're showing are obviously in the highest quality possible.
Yeah.
And I want that quality. But either way, it's always nice to look at, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think we're all excited to play this in, as of recording, a couple of days. So without any further ado, John, we got to get excited for 2K25 by closing the door on 2K24. What do you say? We're ready to get into it.
Let's do it. Let's finish the story.
Looking to add the newest wrestling figures to your lineup? There's no better spot to pick up your next figure than the Wrestling Collector Shop.
Started by collectors for collectors around the globe, Wrestling Collector Shop has been serving the fans the latest and greatest in wrestling action figures since 2002. So the next time you're looking for the newest wrestling collectible to add to your collection, make sure to go to WrestlingCollectorShop.com and use code GameMarks to save yourself 10% on your order.
That's 10% off your order with code GameMarks at WrestlingCollectorShop.com.
All right, the deep dive. Brought to you by our friends over at Wrestling Collector Shop. You just heard the ad. Make sure to go over to WrestlingCollectorShop.com and use code GameMarks to save yourself 10% on your order. And courtesy of our friends at Wrestling Collector Shop, we are giving away a figure. John, what are we giving away and what do the people have to do to win?
Taking a selfie so I can post it on social media. There it is. You can get this This is one of my favorite figures. I have a story about this figure. But it is a Royal Rumble Elite Hurricane figure, so you better stand back. And all you have to do to enter is leave us a review on Apple or Spotify, screenshot that review and send it to us on any form of social media at GameMarksPod, and you will be eligible to win, and we will announce the next episode who the winner is. Now let me tell you my story here. The last ever figure that I purchased as a kid that was going into my Fig Fed was this Jakks Pacific Hurricane. It was impossible to find. Toys R Us didn't have it. KB didn't have it. My mom finally found like a hobby shop in Farmingdale on Main Street. Don't know what it was. Don't know the name of it. Never been there before. Never will go there again. It probably doesn't even exist anymore. And they had it, and we paid like double price for it. But I literally took it out of the package, said, holy crap, this is the greatest figure I've ever owned in my life. It's got the soft goods cape and everything, the painted on face paint. I put it in the bin, and I never played with it.
Oh.
Because I was too old, and that was the last one.
Oh. Well, we've come full circle now.
I think shortly after that, my aunt, for like my birthday or something, bought me a Ruthless Aggression RVD, and that sat in the box in the bin for like 5 years before I sold it. So,
jeez.
Anyway, you could win this Hurricane. Do what I just said. Leave us a review. Send it to us.
Hell yes. All right. Here we go. WWE 2K24 released March 8th, 2024. March 5th, if you had early access. It is available on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, Xbox One, and the PS4. Developed by Visual Concept, published by 2K Sports, and other wrestling games in 2024. You've got AEW Rise to the Top and AEW Figure Fighters.
Wow. Tough competition here.
Yeah, but
let's play either of those games currently.
I actually loaded up Rise to the Top for the first time.
Why?
I think I was going to say that we should cover it. And I wanted to see if anything had changed since the last time that we played. Because if that's, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, or I don't know, the last time that we mentioned this, the rule that we have on the podcast is that a game comes out. We don't play it immediately on release. We give the game a year so that they can work through patches and fix bugs and things like that, add new content for games that do that. And then we address it a year after. That's why we're doing 2K24 today, because it is now viable. All the DLC, all the patches are, to my knowledge, there's no major game-breaking bugs that need to be patched. It's probably just like small little quality of life updates that will happen until they eventually sunset it, like 8 months to a year from now. That being said, Figure Fighters and Rise to the Top, I did want to see where they fell in all of that. So, yeah, I did load up Rise to the Top to see if it was a potential option to cover, and it will be soon.
All right.
But WWE 2K24 currently, as of recording, because it hasn't been released yet, is the most current version of WWE 2K. This iteration of the game celebrates 40 years of WrestleMania and has a roster of over 330 superstars and legends. Man.
So we will not be reading the roster this week.
Man. Yeah, that's a lot. And of course, with Cody as the cover artist, or the cover superstar for this game, you have the tagline of "Finish Your Story."
There was also something crazy around this time. When we're going to get into the different versions of the game, but it came out a month before WrestleMania. But you were guaranteed, if you bought a certain edition, to get the WrestleMania arena, right? The 40 years of WrestleMania edition. It was something weird like that. Like they would put it in. There was
a special edition that came out.
Yeah.
That had specific unlocks, like they usually do. But yeah, I do remember something about the arena itself.
Yeah, we've played a lot of this game. If you know us, head on over to our YouTube, Game Marks Pod, and check out GMP24. It's our universe mode that we've been playing all year long. George drafted a team. I drafted a team. We go head to head each week. We got storylines. We got plots. We got pay-per-view events, and it's a whole lot of fun. And we're closing in on the end of that season as we make our way over to 2K25. So go check that out. Let us know what you think if you want more in-depth gameplay of 24. So we have a lot of fun doing it. So we've put a lot of time into this game. We know the mechanics. We know how it works.
We finally figured out cutscenes 8 months into making the show.
Yeah. Finally figured out how to do that. So that's cool. Thanks to some video editing skills and just us being technical. I won't even say geniuses because we know what happens when we get in charge of the wheel. Let's talk about
if we were technical geniuses, it would have taken us 8 months to figure it out.
Let's talk about the gameplay improvements from 2K23. Backstage Brawl now supports up to 4 players and has more weapons and interactions around the arena. Double title matches are now allowed, so you could do 2 championships at once. That, Roman Reigns holding up 2 titles. It goes hand in hand with the title and all that. Improved hit detection and AI that strikes, grapples, and counters feel more responsive and polished, which is the first thing I noticed loading into this game. The first match I had was an ambulance match. It was AJ Styles, I think, against Kofi Kingston, because I picked 2 randoms. And yeah. And it just felt, I loved 23. It felt so much smoother and just crisp. And I was like, oh, wow, this feels good. And another thing they added was the camera flashes in the crowd. Yes. When a big move happens. And it's not that overbearing that it's annoying, but it's there. And I think it's kind of cool. It gets you up there. And it's not like one of the older games had that, but only for a finisher, but not if it was reversed. This does it for both. So it kind of makes it like a little realistic where the camera flash, oh, he didn't hit it. It's kind of cool.
Didn't Day of Reckoning or one of the GameCube games have, they always had those camera cuts that were like, you would get like the super slow-mo cam, or you would get like the really...
Yeah, I hate those.
But then there would also be like insane amounts of flash photography that would be happening during that. And while those were fun, use that in quotes because you just said you didn't like it, but while some people may have enjoyed that more back in the day, I feel like if you tried to do something like that now, it would just, one, that's not really the style of the WWE wrestling games anymore. It's they try to go a little bit more grounded and realistic with the presentation, but man, I'm like you said, I'm really glad they stopped doing the crazy amounts of photography and the unbelievably bright colors, the unbelievably bright flashes that would just absolutely like wash out the screen.
The crazy thing is that's how wrestling used to be. You know what would be absolutely insane but amazing? If WWE put a section on their website and said, if you have ever taken a photo at our show, upload it by date. And they just had a huge database of everyone's live photos, like almost like they're a new social media of WWE photos from events from history. That's such like a large undertaking that will never happen. But how cool would that be? You just literally go to a date. You can say, okay, January 11th, 1999, Nassau Coliseum. Oh, Johnny Clash posted pictures. Just like a social media of wrestling pictures.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool idea.
Call me. I got ideas.
they do this thing now at certain events where I think it started at baseball games, or maybe it was at football games. I don't know. It was some big arena thing where there's a camera that like is on a track that goes around the arena and takes a photo of the entire arena.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can go up, like, you can go on the website and find yourself like in the seat that you were in, like throughout the course of the night, reacting to the show.
I was in one of those for an Islanders playoff game.
Okay, maybe that's where I heard about it from.
Maybe you could really zoom in on them.
Yeah, maybe you told me about that. Maybe that's where I heard about it.
Maybe. We digress. The stamina and damage system has been tweaked this year, and you could see that firsthand if you go to our playthrough of our last man standing match. Because last year's game, 2K23, when we covered it, I think one of the times we played 2K23, we had a last man standing match that lasted probably 45 minutes. It just kept going on and on.
Endless.
You get the meter every time. You get stamina drain, then you're back up. It's just constant up and down. These are more realistic. They're realistic in the way that like longer fights, less happens. You're not getting up and just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
You're tired. For example, the last man standing match, your meter doesn't even start sometimes till 7, 8, or 9 because you just got hit with a million finishers. So you're not going to get that chance to hit the thing in the middle and get up immediately. Love that.
Yeah, it was really, really it's one of those things that they just improve on the mechanics to make it a little bit more realistic, a little bit more authentic in the presentation of
a little bit Alexis. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that could be that too.
Let's talk about the game modes here because there are some new match types. Special guest referee has returned.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
Is it perfect? Absolutely not. I've literally done it once and I was Chelsea Green and I was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Because I think you're going in with the thought of it being like No Mercy, where it's just like, okay,
one button.
It's one button and you have free reign to do anything. And this game hits you with the old Stone Cold and says, there are rules and there are limitations to how far you can go. And if you do too much and you push the boundaries as a special guest ref, you get kicked out. And then you're not the ref anymore.
I think that's exactly what happened to me. I was like, wait, what? Why do we need rules in a video game? I don't know. You could actually use an AI for that, or you could control it yourself.
Yep.
And it's only in one-on-one matches. So let's see if that is changed this year.
Maybe they add a little bit more this year. That'd be cool.
I think there's a woman ref in 2K24, and you can't hit her as the ref. So maybe this year, now that intergender matches are in there, you could have a little more freedom with special guest referee also.
I think it also depends on the match type and like the stipulations of the match too. Like if you...
Yeah, maybe.
Like maybe it was because you were trying to beat up the ref in the last man standing match that you can't target the ref because they need to make the count. And that part of that match is such a long process to count to 10.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm trying to just assign some kind of logic to it because it's just, yeah. Maybe it's just you can't target certain refs. Maybe you can't. Maybe it's because of match types. Who knows?
Maybe that's it. The ambulance match is a lot of fun. The ambulance is at ringside. You have to get the person in there, but once they're in there, you have to close the door, and that's where the little mini game starts. And it's not easy.
That's another match that can go on for a really long time because of that. But the ambulance itself, fully interactive. You can throw opponents into it. You can do moves on the top of it, off of it. It's pretty cool.
It's cool. It's interactive, and it's a lot of fun. Same with the casket match. Pretty much the same dynamics. You get them in the casket. You gotta closed the lid, but they're trying to get out of it. And it's got a cool little mini game, and it's a fun mode that should have been in there. Now, if we could just get buried alive matches back, we'll be all set. And some Inferno, and that's pretty much everything, right? Punjabi Prison, maybe? I don't know. Do we need that?
I don't know if that works in a.
We don't
it's
need
too
that.
many layers.
Yeah,
it's too many layers, and it's too complicated of a match to. If they were going to do it, now I feel like might be the time to do it because there's so much like they've kind of done so much that at a certain point maybe you try to do it, but I don't necessarily know if people are
they're not
clamoring for it.
Gauntlet matches have also been added. Now you have your play and your exhibition on your menu, and then you have My Faction, which is where you collect and upgrade superstars as trading cards. We all know about that. I was thinking this is the year. Maybe I dabble and see if I like it. So
I genuinely think that it's something that you would enjoy because it kind of takes you out of the like playthrough showcase, do your My Rise, and then once you're through with that and you're like, well, now the only thing that I'm going to go in there and do is like I'll do a rumble or I'll just hit random and play some matches. I think that's the point that you should go and do My Faction because it kind of like once you're past making your team and all that stuff, it's kind of just go through and play matches as they're like assigned. So it's not like you're always kind of doing something different. So I do think that you would enjoy it.
Well, we'll find out. I don't really enjoy the one in NHL. So, and then you have your universe mode, which is, your sandbox. They have expanded storylines this year, including more rivalry, interactions, and cutscenes, loser leave town matches and retirement matches, and the ability to hold multiple titles. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm like so nasally. I was in Disney last week, and those little snot-nosed kids, the day I got home from Disney, it was like, oh, you're sick. So
I don't know. You sound fine to me. I'm sure you probably don't feel great.
I'm struggling to like get certain words out. I'm like, loser leave.
But
like,
audio-wise, you sound good. I'm sorry that you don't feel great, but
I sound like the nanny right now. You have your showcase mode, which celebrates 40 years of WrestleMania, featuring legendary matches. It goes all the way up to Cody and Roman from last year's WrestleMania. 2 years ago, not last year. And all of those are on my personal YouTube at Johnny Clash in their entirety. So you could go check out every single 40 years of WrestleMania showcase match over there. I streamed them all, and I'm going to do it again this year, despite not liking what I'm seeing so far. Now your My Rise modes. Undisputed was the men's, and Unleashed was the women's. I didn't do them. I started the women's, but I never finished it. Now, I grinded to get the 2K23 ones done before 24 came out, and I put so much time, so much effort. Every night I was sitting there trying to get it done just in time for this game to come out, that when it did come out, I loaded the Xbox, I made the same character, the same woman from the last game to a T. Like I remembered, I wrote down like, okay, this hairstyle, this face, blah, 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 blah. Never did anything with it.
You had a full create a wrestler recipe like it was.
Yes, I did. I literally did.
The good old days.
Who am I going to create as a woman? Like Juanita Clash? I don't know. Jenny Clash? I don't know. So
you got 8 days to play through both of them. I think you could do it.
I think I still named her LJ, just like that career mode too. Yep. So I don't know. It's on my Xbox forever. I could go back and play it, and there's a chance that I do.
There you
go.
Now,
my GM mode, there are new features. You can now have interbrand trading and scouting new talent. There's more GM options, like as your GM avatar, like who you are, and expanded season lengths and new rivalries. And we know they're going to keep updating my GM this year. There's even more stuff in there. So
online play, right?
Pretty cool. Online play. Something we could do.
Yes, sir. All right. You take a break. I feel like you've been...
I need some water. New cough drop or something.
Yeah, cough drop, sip of water.
I need to pack a lip. I'm packing a cough drop in my lip so I could just keep sucking it as I talk.
I'm going to go read through the match types. You want to go make like yourself a cup of tea or something?
I'm good.
Take a shot of honey. You're good?
We got cough drops.
All right, cool. All right, so your match types for WWE 2K24. You've got your normal, Extreme Rules, Backstage Brawl, Ladder, Table, Hell in a Cell, Steel Cage, TLC, Iron Man, Falls Count Anywhere, Submission, Last Man Standing, No Holds Barred, Elimination Chamber, Battle Royale, a gauntlet match from 4 to up to 30 superstars, a gauntlet eliminator from 4 to up to 30 superstars, gauntlet turmoil from 4 to up to 30 superstars, a 10-person
Those
battle
all sound
royale,
terrible.
10-person battle or a 10-person Royal Rumble, 20-person Royal Rumble, 30-person Royal Rumble, 3v3 war games, 4v4 war games, a handicap match, and tournaments, which you could do a 1v1 tournament, a tag team tournament, the Dusty Rhodes Classic, and the Mixed Match Challenge. Whew. But the additions don't stop there.
One thing I want to see change that I don't think we can.
Okay.
I want to be able to use war games in any arena. And I don't understand why they can't do a normal arena and put the shark cages, whatever you want to call them, on the stage.
It might be, well, because isn't it like behind the ring in the
Like
game?
up top, like the NXT arena.
Yeah, like you walk down the ramp, but the cages aren't on the entrance ramp. Or maybe they are and they turn the camera angle for the match?
No, they're like up top.
They are up top. They're like up in the stands, but yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with war games this year. I do know that
I'm not a fan.
I think it just ends too quick. Like, so much damage has been done if you're playing, unless you have a full, 6v or 3v3 or 4v4 where everyone has a controller. By the time that the match actually begins, so much damage has been done that once the match officially starts, it's over within a couple of minutes. It's not like it continues to go on. And that's just in the couple of matches that I've tried. John and I have done a couple as well. And maybe there is something in the settings that you can change, but that's just from our experience. But yeah, I'm curious to see what they do in 2K25 with war games. If they change anything, if they maybe that's one of those hidden little features that they'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, we didn't announce this, but war games is in there and we fixed it, and it operates in the proper way, and you can pick any arena.
Yeah,
that might be cool.
Not my favorite match type, like to watch and play. So
yeah,
but let's talk about the new weapons here that we can throw at each other's face, because that is a new ability that you could throw weapons again, just like No Mercy, and boy, do we take advantage of it. It is
John's got his combo. You hit someone with the weapon till they're knocked down, and then as soon as they get up, you throw the weapon.
Yeah. It's great. You now have a trash can, a guitar, a microphone, la chancla, which are flip-flops, a Slim Jim, barbed wire bat, light tube, door, megaphone, a football, and an apple. Not an iPhone, just an apple. Now, normally this is where we would read the roster. But like we said before, there's like 330. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Everybody's in it. That's all you need to know.
maybe we throw in like an AI voice recording here of everything.
You know what? That's even too long, and I'm not going to do it.
That's a lot of names for everyone to listen to, but all the heavy hitters are here. If you're familiar with what the wrestling landscape has looked like for the past couple of years, you got a fair chance of naming a good portion of the roster. But yeah, 330 characters and the ability to download created wrestlers, and there's pre-order bonuses and DLC. Man, we got to talk about this pre-order bonus and the DLC, but before we do that, do you want to take a quick break, John?
Yes, I need some water.
All right, so we talked about the pre-order bonuses and what you can expect from that. So let's do that. Let's break it down. The standard edition pre-order bonus, you get the Nightmare Family Pack, which was included in all editions. You get the Undashing Cody Rhodes persona, Superstar Billy Graham, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, you get the Stardust character, and you get My Faction cards for Cody Rhodes, Dusty Rhodes, and Stardust. Then, if you had the Deluxe Bonus Edition, you have everything from the Standard Edition, plus access to the Season Pass, which grants access to all of the 5 DLC packs, the My Rise Mega Boost, which is boosted stats for your My Rise characters, and then you have the Supercharger, which instantly unlocks all legends and arenas in the game. I can't remember. Does that also do title belts, or do you have to buy the title belts?
Oh, I don't dabble in any of that, so I don't know.
I think it might also be title belts, but I might be wrong about that. But the Supercharger does unlock a ton of content that you would have to either buy from the store or play through the showcase modes to otherwise unlock, but it's all there legend-wise. But it doesn't unlock my faction cards or certain showcase stuff. I know, sir, maybe it doesn't unlock any showcase stuff. No, I don't think it does. And then, of course, the WrestleMania 40-year edition. You have everything from both previous packs, plus the 40 Years of WrestleMania pack, which is Mania Moment versions of The Rock, Triple H, Charlotte Flair, and Randy Orton, WrestleMania arenas, and additional My Faction content. And yes, I can confirm that the Supercharger does not unlock anything from the My Showcase. It is just the general store content of Legends and Arenas. And now it's time to talk about the 5 DLC packs. So you have the ECW Punk pack, which is CM Punk, the Dudley Boys, Sandman, and Terry Funk. You have the Post Malone and Friends pack, which
Jesus Christ.
includes Post Malone and other celebrity guest characters, which is Post Malone, Hockey Tonk Man, Jimmy Hart,
His friends.
Sensational Sherry, and the Headbangers. And then you have the Pat McAfee Show pack, which is all of the characters from the Pat McAfee Show. You have the Global Superstar pack, which includes Jade Cargill in her debut into wrestling video games, Michelle McCool, Dragon Lee, Carlito, Lyra Valkyria, Kairi Sane, and Nia Jax. And then finally, oh no, not finally, we've got more. WCW pack brings in legends like DDP, the Iron Sheik, Mr. Perfect, the Great Muta, and Lex Luger. And then there is the My Rise Mega Boost and the Supercharger, which we talked about earlier. The My Rise Mega Boost grants an additional 200 attribute points to really give your My Rise character a significant boost. Okay. With that, John, would you like to go and talk about the artwork? There are multiple covers for this game. Are you ready to dive in?
Oh, yeah, but before that,
very cool cover.
we said before there's probably 2 My Rise modes this year. There's actually only one. It's unified. Just saw that.
There's what?
Only one My Rise this year.
Oh, for 25.
Yeah, it's going to be unified. Before I said when reading them that there was going to be 2 again. There's not.
Okay. So for 2K25, it is one My Rise story. Interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
Sorry, just had to put
No,
that out
it's all
there.
good. It's all good. So let's talk about this cover here. Sticking with the theme of the last couple of years, at least from the from a text aspect, the 2K logo for WWE is mostly the same. It's just, now it runs the length of the case instead of it being across the top. But yeah, multiple shots of Cody Rhodes, fireworks going off from the entrance. It's multiple
Pretty great.
poses. Yeah, it's a really, this is, I feel like we've said this the last couple of years. These
They're finally art again.
they're art, and they would make really cool, like if you remove the 2K24 logo and just had the WWE logo, they could serve as posters.
Yeah, or that's I would get that signed.
Yeah, that's a great 8x10. It's a hell of a poster. It's awesome, and I feel like Ray's was the first one that kind of brought that back with like the super cool close up of the mask and him, mid jump, leapfrog, or whatever he was doing on the cover of that. But yeah, it's these cool multi-layered action shots of Cody on the basic one. on the standard edition. And then on the deluxe edition, you've got Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, dual cover stars. It is it's awesome. It is follows its same kind of style as the Cody cover. Big headshots of Rhea and Bianca in the background, pyros, in ring, mid match, entrance pose shots from both of them. It is it's really, really cool.
I think that's my favorite cover. I like the colors. I mean, as you can see behind me right now.
I think that's the one that feels the most different.
Yeah, I like it.
Color presentation wise. And I like what they did, how on the standard edition with Cody, the color of the 2K reflects that. But then on the deluxe edition, it's a little bit of like a magenta red and a little bit of purple. And the 2K section is color coordinated with that background. And then on the 40 years of WrestleMania version, man, that is a cool looking cover. Very nostalgic, very tried and true WrestleMania style font treatment.
It's like it's almost like one of those Rob Schamberger or Hal Haney designs.
Yeah. That is a great analogy.
Maybe it would have been a Rob Schamberger if he's now AEW's guy, but
it's really cool. I think they did a really good job with all three covers this year. They all, like we were saying before, could be signed 8x10s, posters, the collector's item, regardless. They're very, very cool looking, very well designed. Yeah, and a lot of thought put into it. But you know what else is really well designed, John? The game itself. It's really, really, like, there's no way around it. It's a really pretty game.
Oh, there's actually a picture we have here of the War Games where the cages are. So if you want to check that out.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, yeah, what can you really say? It looks like you're actually watching wrestling. You can't really critique it now. Yeah, you can nitpick saying like, oh, Solo's face doesn't look great, but this year's it does. But you didn't think that last year. You thought it was good too. You out there making the complaint. But my one gripe, and you notice this in Showcase the most, when you're in the big arena, for some reason, there's a wall in your vision. So like it'll cut back and forth between like say WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and then it goes to the real one. It doesn't show this. But then it goes to the gameplay and it's like crowd, wall, crowd. I don't know why that wall is there in every single arena, but it's never.
Some definitely have it, but it's not everyone.
The TNA Impact Zone has it, but not, like the Lucas Oil Stadium or whatever. I don't know.
But I said it during our playthrough before. The crowd, I don't think I've ever really, like, the crowd has looked really good for the last couple of years, but I don't think that, we've kind of always just like glossed over it. Like it's this very similar crowd. We've come miles from the paper PNG GIF style crowd of them just going back and forth with like one or two animations. Like there's a lot of depth. There's a lot of different shirts. The overall presentation of the crowd itself, close up to the guardrail, and when you would go out into the crowd to fight outside the ring, over the apron over the barricade is very realistic. But I don't think I've ever appreciated beyond that, which is pretty much what John's talking about now. Everything beyond the close, immediate crowd, there's movement. The camera flashes that we were talking about earlier all happens back there as well. It really helps with the immersion, the presentation. Like it just helps with the realism of this game, which the last couple of years, I feel like they've really nailed that aspect of it. And yeah, sometimes the face models may be off. The character models themselves may be slightly off. I think over the course of the last couple of years, there's always some like weird hair thing that happens. But those things are kind of hard to capture. Like you gotta, I don't know. Hair has never been something that has ever really bothered me in a game for how the hair flows. I rather other aspects of the game work, like they're supposed to. But I get it. I understand. Everything else looks great, and there's that one uncanny valley kind of moment that takes you out of the realistic presentation.
I feel you. Were you there? I don't know if you were there. I was streaming 24 once, and it was Razor and Sean, WrestleMania 10.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're trying to say.
And I don't remember what the move was, but I hit a move, and I did this weird glitch over the barricade.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Suddenly, I was in the crowd, but not where you should be. So I couldn't get back into the ring. I could run anywhere I wanted in the arena. I couldn't interact with anything, though. Sean wasn't. He might have been in the crowd with me, but I couldn't get back over the barricade. I had to restart the match, and I was halfway through getting all the accomplishments. But that was probably the craziest glitch I've encountered. But at the same time, I was like, it is possible to fight in the crowd, and it doesn't look too bad just running over people.
Yeah, no, I agree. There are, like we said, those very few moments that take you out of it. I found it. So you Irish whip Sean as Razor into the barricade. He reverses it, and then you both glitch over. It's almost like the collision detection was weird.
He did come with me because I was trying to get him out.
Yeah, you both rubber band over the barricade into the crowd. And typically, what happens when you go over certain parts of the barricade to battle into the crowd, the crowd will move, or there'll be a very clear path that you can go into the section that you're supposed to fight in.
They just look at you like, huh?
They're still looking at the crowd, at the ring. You're just now in there. And what was the end result of that? You couldn't get back in.
I had to restart.
Yeah, that's great.
So stupid. And some of that stuff took forever to get to for the showcase.
Yeah, but those moments seem to be fewer and far between nowadays.
That's what I hope. I mean, our friend, the Beefy Bagel Boy, Will, in our Discord, has been sending his own glitches. So what was his last one? I was playing a match in 2K Universe, AJ and Luke Gallows versus Jerry Lawler and some dude from the Pat McAfee show. Out of Michael Cole. Oh, I don't know where Michael Cole just says, I haven't heard a crowd this fired up since the Milan Miracle in 2007. And that was it. Next match, the referee never showed up. The match will never end. I had to quit. Got hit with a finisher and pinned. The kick out meter won't start until after the 1 count after a finisher. And he just had to quit the game.
I do remember hearing him mention that. That's
crazy.
Yeah, that is wild. But
he also mentioned, did you know? Did you know Brock Lesnar remains in the 2K showcase that was not playable in the actual game?
Did you know Cody Rhodes is the only superstar with 4 different character models in this game?
Did you know 2K24 was offered as a free game for PS Plus subscribers in October of 2024, but it's still available for full price on Steam and your console stores.
Jeez.
Speaking of stores, I'm over here on my other screen. Our friend Shannon Williams, Mark Out Digital Card Game.
I saw this.
He's developing a new game right now on Twitch. He's doing it live. Retro Game Store Simulator coming to Steam.
He repurposed the existing Twitter for the card game, and now has switched it over to that.
Damn, I love to see Gakdaw is still also just working on his game.
A lot of games coming out still. A lot of cool potential games on the horizon, a lot of interesting looking artwork, a lot of interesting looking partnerships and deals being made. It's like we say it at least once a month. It's a good time to be a wrestling video game player. There's a lot of things that are coming out. There's a lot of different options to go with.
Yeah, but even Retro Store Simulator, I'm into this. This looks nice.
Yeah. Super cool concept for sure. But hey, John, what do you say we get into a little bit of R&R, some ratings and reviews?
You know, as we get older, as the games progress, as we get more recent, there's less reviews, and I like it. Now, Metacritic, the Xbox X and S has an 83 out of 100, PS5 with an 81, and the PC with a 78. We could agree. There's been some glitches we've encountered with PC version, like losing hair. Hair not loading on created wrestlers.
Well, that is them patching out the hair glitch that people were doing, and that was the result. So if someone uploaded a creator wrestler that they utilized the hair glitch on, I believe 2K patched out the hair glitch so that when you use the wrestler that still has the hair glitch, they end up having no hair, or in certain cases, Clash, what do you like to say that they look like sometimes?
They got the Tyson Kid.
The Tyson
going.
Kid,
Yeah.
that's what it is. I was like, I couldn't remember. Is it the Tyson Kid?
That's what we should have, a hair versus hair match in the game. Game Informer with an 8.5 out of 10. GameSpot with an 8 out of 10.
Too.
Games Radar Plus with a 4 out of 5 stars. IGN with an 8 out of 10. And Shack News with an 8 out of 10. So overall, pretty damn good. They keep getting better, so that's good. The disaster of 2K20 turned this entire franchise around. Maybe 25 will get a 9. Who knows? But we've been on a pretty damn good roll lately, and I said with 23, this is probably my favorite wrestling game I've played since 2K19. Or
it's a bold statement, man.
Even going back to like maybe the SmackDown vs. Raws, I don't know, or 12 or 13,
which is big for you because you said for a while that you kind of were out of the wrestling games for a little bit.
This year though, 24, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I really liked it. But
I want to hear how good
let's hear
you thought
how
it
good.
was. Because right now, it is time to rate the game.
The game!
All right, John. I'm going to have you go first because we all know that I'm going to probably be a little pretty long-winded on this.
Well, it's going to be a play it forever. And I say that not only because it's a good game that we played religiously this year. We played the crap out of this game. I feel like we got our money's worth and some for this game.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to go back and do those My Rise modes and see what I was missing, because maybe there's some parts this year that I'm going to miss out on. So maybe it's time to fire up this Xbox here and play through My Rise.
They do like to have that one like running thread that goes through.
And it's usually Cole Quinn.
Cole Quinn, I think, I think Justine is in this one. Yeah, she's in the My Rise for the female storyline.
That
in
dastardly Justine. Yeah, that was cool. And I'm gonna play it forever. It was really good, and it's up there with the 19s, the 12s, the ones I remember. I'm gonna remember this one for a long time. George, what about you?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. This is a big old play it forever. Try to keep this as short and sweet as possible. For me, as a wrestling video game fan, it checks all the boxes, man. It plays well. It looks great. I think one of the things that has become one of my more favorite parts of the 2K games is the downloadable content, the community creations, because it's not just attires and wrestlers. People are getting very creative with the arenas that they make and things like that. Like, there's one that you can fight on top of the Golden Gate Bridge. I have no idea how someone made that, but that is an arena that you can wrestle in. It is literally just like you're fighting in a section of the Golden Gate Bridge, which is crazy. And I think seeing how people are using the game itself to do stuff like that, like, I'm just like, wow, what are the things that people are going to make as community creations that are then going to become actual parts of the game? Like, it's kind of really fun to kind of suspend disbelief for a second and go, wow, well, maybe you could have a match on a bridge somewhere, and how would you work that into your universe mode or something like that?
Well, all you need is Snoop Dogg, and yeah, you can make it happen.
Yeah, I think he was either this year or a couple of years ago, someone made the WWF New York, like when you're fighting in Times Square from one of the throwaway games. Like, that's really cool. Like, those are things that, they're not going to put in modern day games, but people are using the engine itself to build those things. So that has always or has recently been one of the things that I've enjoyed. But yeah, play it forever. Everything about this game was great. The minor bugs that we've encountered don't negate the overall experience by a long shot. But we want to know what you guys think. What was your experience with WWE 2K24? Would you give it a play it forever or a future endeavor? Or are you somewhere in the middle? And let us know if you're looking forward to 2K25 as well. But with that, John, are you ready to get into this week's soft lock?
Let's do it.
All right, the soft lock is a segment on the podcast where one of our mega marks from our Patreon gives us a topic to discuss. The little section to debate. It's a question of the week with a fancy name. It's what we do here. This week it comes from Soups. The Soupy Man would like us to put together our dream showcase mode. What is your dream showcase mode, and what matches would you include? The first thing that comes to mind, which I do believe that they have done before, is Legend Killer Randy Orton.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I think that would be cool. Or what was the event? Was it Raw 1000 that they had all the legends come back and like do their finishers to Heath Slater over the course of like was it like the
1000?
lead up into Raw 1000?
Yeah, I think it was like weeks leading up. It was like Lita,
Yeah,
APA, DDP,
Sid.
Yeah.
Like somehow like
Sid, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know. They're like obviously it's like these one minor little spots on a whole show, but like something like that could be cool as a showcase. Just like what if the whole showcase was what if what if big wrestler from the 80s or the 90s wrestled someone today in their prime. Like it's almost like a kind of like a modern day All-Stars showcase.
I like it. That would be
What
cool.
about you?
All right. Given recent events and recent partnerships,
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
I want an AJ Styles showcase mode. Now, I want to go back to like Jerry Lynn and Low Key on pay-per-view. I want to go back to Destination X against Christopher Daniels. I want that Christopher Daniels Samoa Joe match. And then I want his debut at the Rumble. I want
Cena.
We could skip Shinsuke because that match sucked. It was good. It was just wrong place, wrong time.
Finn, right? There's multiple Finns.
That first Finn match, that wasn't supposed to happen. Someone got sick, I remember, and it was like a fill-in inter-promotional match. Boneyard match.
Oh, yeah. That's got to be in there.
Yeah. And then, I mean, where do you end it, though? Because he kind of he hasn't done a lot since feuded with LA Knight and keeps getting injured, but he should be back.
Well, he's
back.
Yeah, he's back. You could do his run with Omos because he was champion.
Oh, that's true.
When he was with Omos.
Dylan's friend Omos.
Yeah,
I want AJ. You could even end it at the Boneyard match.
No, that's a great.
You get Abyss in there. The lockdown match. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's a
Ultimate X.
It's not a competition, but I think you won the softball, man. Like your pitch for that was so much better. Like I love everything about that. Like it hits on every note. It touches on the new partnership. You're getting AJ throughout like the generations of his career. You get short hair AJ all the way up to long hair AJ now.
Yo, could we get short hair AJ officially in the game now? Please, someone?
Oh yeah, and it would be short hair and like trunks.
Yeah. Oh,
that's cool. That's the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, shit, they gotta do something like this.
What if one of the DLC packs is like a TNA pack?
Because you could do.
I'm gonna assume like Jordan Grace is
Joe Hendry. He's been popping up so much.
But Jordan Grace is actually on the roster, so she might already be DLC for later down the line.
Yeah, same with Machine Guns.
Machine Guns.
What are some machine guns there?
Across the line pack. Jordan Grace, the Machine Guns, Joe Hendry.
Moose. He's on NXT.
Moose. Josh Alexander. I think he left, but that would be great.
TNA.
TNA.
That's
TNA. Who would have thought?
That's a hell of a pitch there, John.
Bring it. You know, I've always been a TNA mark.
That's great. All right. Well, next week on the podcast, guys, we are going to be playing King of Colosseum 2. We have done King of Colosseum Red. We have done King of Colosseum Green. It is now time to do King of Colosseum 2. And this is for the PlayStation 2. And we hope that you will come and join us for that game next episode. And as always, you can check out all of the video content that we make over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GameMarksPod. I would also invite you to check out Johnny Clash's Twitch streams over at twitch.tv/JohnnyClashTTV. Also, if you would like to check out the exclusive content that we are making alongside our good buddy Dylan Postel, that is available over at patreon.com/podexchange. It's early access to shows. It is show notes, ad-free versions, and a whole lot more. If you wanted to pick up some Pod Exchange merch, that's over at podexchange.shop. That is all things Pod Exchange. We have a Pro Wrestling Tee store, prowrestlingtees.com/GameMarksPod. We are available on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. And as always, we would really appreciate it if you would like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And as always, if there is a product or service you would like to advertise on this podcast, please reach out to us over at GameMarksPod@gmail.com. Another game in the books. Very excited to see what happens with WWE 2K25. Whenever you're ready, John, do that thing.
Game over. Marks.
Game Marks Podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no Game Shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the clash at the feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks Podcast every single Monday.